Mac points this out. L.A. Rams had more offensive line injuries than the Browns, if you can believe that. Ran the ball 26 times for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against the 49ers. And he does make the point. McVay was patient enough not to abandon the run. They fell behind the 49ers and came back. Kevin Stefanski needs to do it against the Raiders. Defense that is 30th in rush yards allowed and 32nd in yards passing. So the Raiders have been struggling defensively. And all I'm saying is you find a way to do what you need to do. You almost want to shorten the game because
of course, if that's the game plan, that's it. But I get what you guys want to do, and I understand that you brought Dorsey in to do certain things. But listen, man, when you're a leader and you're a general of a army or a general, and you got to read the lay of the land. That's number one. Number two, you got to look at see what kind of weapons do you got? What's the morale of the people? What is your rations looking like, man? I hate to get into football as military, but what I'm talking about from a strategy standpoint, if you know they got the high ground, it's really kind of dumb to keep marching up there. You're gonna have to figure out a different way to skin a cat, so to speak. And you're good at with the multiple tight end and multiple linemen. You know that you got a guy in Deontay Foreman that can run the ball. You saw it against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The best part of your defense, even though they're banged up a little bit, best part of your team is your defense. And why would you not? You've shown that you can play that way and win football games with inferior quarterback play, with rookies and PJ Walker and Joe Flacco off the couch. So why would you expand the playbook when you don't have the weapons outside, you don't have the protection up front? What are you doing? You can't come into this game and say, oh, well, we weren't being successful with the run and we got down behind. That's an excuse. Even if you're down 7 points, you still have to go out there and try to move the football and play keep away to a certain extent, because you know that you can play that way and win, especially when you got backups up front. For once, let your offensive linemen tee off on somebody instead of those guys being always being assaulted with these pass rushers and guys getting after your quarterbacks. The Giants blitz 30 almost 40% of the time against the Browns. So when you look at it, don't let those guys tee off on you. Use that against them and be aggressive yourself. And it's hard to rush the passer when you're getting off double team blocks. Trust me, I'm a defensive lineman. I know it's kind of difficult getting after the quarterback when it's a constant dose of power and run and zone and gap schemes and duo schemes up front. So do that. That's what you got to do. Do it by any means necessary.
So along those lines of why you shouldn't abandon the run early and why you need to run the football, the Browns through 3 weeks, so this is this season, have the most drops of any team in the NFL with 14, ahead of the Giants, Packers, Rams, Titans, Cardinals, Jets, and Chargers. So bad on the wide receivers, not helping out the quarterback. The wide receivers have to be better. They just have to be better.
Yeah, and see, this is the part that gets you, is because when you're watching this, people say, yeah, everybody has drops, and you got to understand it. People say all the time, one play didn't cause us to lose a game. No, that's a lie. like I don't know if you guys have been playing like that whole cliche is the biggest lie I've ever heard. Like when you if you jump off sides and give a team a first down and they get to run a clock out, you lost the game. Your coach lets you know it, your defensive line lets you know it, your teammates know it. All that stuff is for the other fans out here saying, oh, well, listen, if there were many plays that could have been made. No. When the game was on the line, you screwed it up. Now, look, these passes can change the complexion of the game. Amari Cooper drops a corner route, right? He drops a wide open corner route. The Browns have the ability to possibly go up 17-0. That game is completely done after that. That game is, you put themselves in situations where you do that. Another thing, hey, a Greg Newsome, if you don't put your hands at the quarterback's face, now the Cleveland Browns are up 10-0. They possibly get that ball inside the 20 in Giants territory. And instead of the Giants having confidence like, oh, guys, we can turn this thing around, they're thinking, oh, here we go again. And now you could put them away early. So, yeah, one or two plays can really make the difference in the game. And one or two drops stops third downs. It stops the chains from being moving. It's the difference between 7 points on the board and 3 points on the board. It's the difference between having third and manageable or third and 10. All these things you have to help your quarterback. And of course, Deshaun Watson has to play better. I watched 5 or 6 throws where he has to hit these layups. He got to hit the layups that the gimme routes. But the other guys aren't doing them much of a favor either when you have one of the worst offensive lines and you're dropping the ball at the highest rate in the NFL.